enough. Listen to me carefully, because this is something you need to understand deep in your spirit before you lay your head down tonight. God is working you even when you are resting. And that means the things that are keeping you awake, the problems you keep replaying in your mind, the situations you keep trying to figure out, those are not yours to carry all night. You have spent the entire day thinking, stressing, worrying, trying to solve things that feel bigger than you. You've gone over conversations again and again. You've tried to predict outcomes. You've asked yourself, what if this doesn't work out? Or what am I going to do next? And without even realizing it, you've been trying to take control of things that only God has the power to fix. But tonight God is saying, give it to me. Because while you are trying to figure it out, God has already gone ahead of you. While you are worrying about tomorrow, God is already in tomorrow. While you are stressing over what you cannot control, God is working behind the scenes, aligning things, shifting situations, opening doors, making ways that you cannot yet see. You have to understand something powerful. Your rest is not a pause in God's work. Your rest is where God's work continues without your interference. When you sleep, God does not sleep. When you close your eyes, heaven is still moving. Things are still being arranged. Answers are still being prepared. Breakthroughs are still being set into motion. But the problem is, many people don't truly rest. Their body is in bed, but their mind is still fighting. Their eyes are closed. Their spirit is still carrying burdens that they were never meant to hold. And because of that, they wake up just as tired as they were before they went to sleep. Not because they didn't sleep, but because they never released. Tonight is different. Tonight, you have to make a decision that you are not taking your worries into your sleep. You are not taking your fear into your rest. You are not going to lay down holding on to things that God is asking you to release. Because the truth is, worrying about it will not fix it. Stressing about it will not change it. Overthinking it will not solve it. But trusting God will. There are things happening right now that you cannot see. God is speaking to people about you. He is arranging opportunities you didn't ask for. He is protecting you from things you don't even know could have harmed you. He is closing doors that would have led you the wrong way and preparing doors that will lead you exactly where you need to be. You don't have to stay awake to make that happen. That's the beauty of God's power. You don't have to force what He has already planned. You don't have to stay up all night trying to solve what He has already solved. Your job is not to control the outcome. Your job is to trust the one who controls everything. So tonight, when you lay down differently. Don't just rest your body, rest your mind, rest your heart, rest your spirit. Let go of the questions you don't have answers to. Let go of the situations you cannot control. Go of the pressure you have been putting on yourself to figure everything out. Because while you are resting, God is working. He is working on that situation that feels impossible. He is working on that problem that has been stressing you out. He is working on that door that hasn't opened yet. He is working on that breakthrough that you've been waiting for. And when you wake up, you may not see everything changed instantly, but something will be different. Maybe it will be your perspective. Maybe it will be your peace. Maybe it will be your strength, or maybe it will be the beginning of a shift that you have been praying for. But it all starts with this decision to trust God enough to rest. So don't go to sleep holding on to fear. Don't go to sleep carrying stress. Don't go to sleep trying to control tomorrow. Lay it down. Release it. Trust Him. Because the God who is watching over you tonight is already working on your tomorrow. Listen to me carefully, because this is something you must understand before you allow this night to take you into rest. You cannot carry worry and expect to experience peace at the same time. It does not work like that. If your hands are full of fear, they cannot receive rest. If your mind is full of anxiety, it cannot settle into peace. And tonight, God is not just calling you to sleep, He is calling you to release. You have been holding on to things all day, worries about your future, pressure about your responsibilities, fear about things not working out, questions that have no clear answers. And without even realizing it, you have allowed those thoughts to sit heavy on your heart. They followed you through your day, and now they are trying to follow you into your night. But God is saying, Don't take that with you, because what you carry in fear will disturb your peace. Worry has a way of replaying itself. It keeps your mind active when it should be resting. It keeps your spirit tense when it should be calm. It creates scenarios that have not even happened and convinces you they are real. It makes you feel like you need to control everything, fix everything, understand everything before you can rest. But the truth is, if you wait until everything makes sense, you will never have peace. Peace does not come from having all the answers. Peace comes from trusting the one who already knows them. You have to understand something powerful tonight. Worry is not helping you. It feels like you are doing something, but you are not. You are only draining your energy, exhausting your mind, blocking the peace that God is trying to give you. Worry cannot change your situation. It cannot fix your problems. It cannot control tomorrow. All it does is steal your rest today, and God is saying, release it. Release the pressure to have everything figured out. Release the fear of what might happen. Release the anxiety that keeps telling you something will go wrong, because many of the things you are worried about have not even happened, and some of them never will. You are losing your peace over possibilities instead of trusting God's promises. Tonight, you have to make a conscious decision. You have to choose peace over worry. You have to choose trust over fear. And that choice begins with letting go, not halfway, not temporarily. Completely let go of the situation you cannot control. Let go of the outcome you are trying to force. Let go of the people you are trying to fix. Go of the future you are trying to predict. Because the more you hold on, the heavier it becomes. But the moment you release it, something shifts inside of you. When you release worry, you make room for peace. And peace is not just a feeling, it is a state of trust. It is the quiet confidence that says, even if I don't understand it, I know God is in control. It is the ability to rest without having everything figured out. It is the strength to say, I've done what I can, and now I'm trusting God with the rest. There is a difference between thinking about a problem and carrying it. Thinking is natural, but carrying it, holding it emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that is what weighs you down. And tonight, God is inviting you to put that weight down, not tomorrow, not later, right now. Because you were not created to carry everything. Some things belong to God, and when you try to carry what belongs to Him, you feel overwhelmed, anxious, and restless. But when you give it back to Him, you feel lighter. You feel calmer. You feel free. So as you prepare to sleep tonight, don't just close your eyes. Release your burdens. Speak it in your heart. If you have to, God, I give this to you. I trust you with this situation. I trust you with my future. I trust you with what I cannot control. And then let it go. Don't pick it back up in your thoughts. Don't replay it again and again. Tonight be the night you finally stop carrying what has been weighing you down. Because the truth is, the more you hold on to worry, the more you block the peace that God is offering you. But when you release it, something powerful happens. Your mind begins to quiet. Your heart begins to settle. Your spirit begins to rest. And you start to experience the kind of peace that does not depend on circumstances. That is the peace God wants for you tonight. So don't go to sleep with fear in your heart. Don't go to sleep with anxiety in your mind. Don't go to sleep holding on to what God is asking you to release. Let it go. Trust Him and allow His peace to cover you as you rest. Listen to me carefully, because this is where many people lose faith without realizing they are standing right in the middle of God's process. When things don't happen when you expect them to, when prayers feel unanswered, when doors stay closed longer than you thought they would, it is easy to believe that it's over. It is easy to think that maybe it's not going to happen for you, but you must understand this truth deep in your spirit. Delay does not mean denial. Just because it hasn't happened yet does not mean it won't happen at all. You have been measuring God's timing with your expectations. You've been looking at the clock, comparing your journey to others, wondering why things are moving faster for them and slower for you. You've asked yourself, what am I doing wrong? Or why is this taking so long? And in those moments, doubt tries to settle in. What you don't see is that God is not working on your schedule. He is working on your preparation. Because if it came too early, you wouldn't be ready. There are things God is building inside of you that cannot be rushed. Strength takes time. Wisdom takes time. Maturity takes time. Sometimes the blessing itself is ready, but you are still becoming the person who can handle it. So God doesn't release it yet, not because he is denying you, because he loves you enough to prepare you. You have to understand that timing is not just about when something happens. It's about when everything is aligned. Your mindset, your character, your environment, your capacity, your readiness, all of it has to come together. Because God is not just trying to give you something. He is trying to give it to you in a way that you can sustain it, grow in it, and not lose it. Think about it like this. If you receive something before you are ready, it can become a burden instead of a blessing. What you prayed for can overwhelm you. What you asked for can break you. And God will not allow that. So he uses the delay to strengthen you, to stretch you, to shape you into someone who can carry what is coming. And while you are waiting, something powerful is happening behind the scenes. God is aligning people you haven't met yet. He is opening doors you cannot see yet. He is removing obstacles you don't even know were there. He is arranging situations in a way that will make everything come together at the right moment. What feels like nothing is happening is actually everything happening in a way you cannot see. There are conversations happening about you that you're not in the room for. There are opportunities being prepared that haven't reached you yet. There are delays protecting you from things that were not right for you. And there are doors being held closed because something better is being prepared. Here is where faith becomes real. Can you trust God when you don't see results yet? Can you keep believing when there is no visible progress? Can you stay patient when everything inside you wants to rush the process? Because real faith is not just believing when things are happening, believing when nothing seems to be happening. And yes, waiting is hard. It stretches you. It tests you. It makes you question things, but it also builds you, teaches you to rely on God instead of your own understanding. It teaches you patience, endurance, and trust. And those are the very qualities you will need when the blessing finally arrives. You may feel like you are behind, like you are late, you have missed your moment. But hear this clearly, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are in process. Process always feels slower than progress. But when it finally comes together, it will make sense. You will look back and realize that if it had happened earlier, it wouldn't have worked. You weren't ready. The timing wasn't right. The situation wasn't aligned. Now everything fits. Now everything makes sense. Now everything flows the way it was meant to. That is what divine timing does. It doesn't just give you what you want. It gives it to you at the right moment, in the right way, with the right foundation. So don't lose faith because it's taken time. Don't assume it's not coming because it hasn't arrived yet. Don't let delay make you doubt what God has already promised, because delay is not denial. It is preparation. It is alignment. It is protection. When the time finally comes, when that door opens, when that opportunity appears, when that breakthrough happens, it will not feel late. It will feel right. So hold on, stay patient, keep trusting, because what God has for you is still on the way, and it will arrive exactly when it is meant to. Listen to me carefully, because what you went through today was not random, and it was not meaningless. The battles you faced, the pressure you felt, the moments that tested your patience, your strength, and even your faith, none of it was sent to destroy you. It may have felt heavy. It may have felt overwhelming. It may have felt like too much at times. But what you must understand is this: it was not meant to break you. It was meant to build you. Every challenge you face today carried a purpose. Every difficult moment was shaping something inside of you. You may not have seen it while you were going through it, but something was happening within you. Your strength was being stretched. Your patience was being tested. Your faith was being refined. And all of that is necessary for where God is taking you. Because where you are going requires a stronger version of you. If everything were easy, you would not grow. If everything went your way, you would not develop resilience. If you never faced pressure, you would never discover how strong you really are. So God allows certain battles not to harm you, to prepare you. He allows you to go through situations that push you beyond your comfort zone so that you can rise to a level you never thought you could reach. Think about what you handled today. Things that once would have completely overwhelmed you, you managed to get through. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not without struggle, but you made it through. And that alone is proof that you are stronger than you used to be. You are growing, even if you don't always feel it. The battles you face are not just about the situation. They are about your transformation. They are shaping your mindset, teaching you how to respond instead of react, how to trust instead of panic, how to stand instead of give up. And those lessons are what will carry you into your next level. Sometimes the pressure you feel is not there to crush you. It is there to reveal you, to show you what you are made of, to bring out strength, courage, and faith that you didn't even know you had. Because there is something powerful inside of you. It often takes pressure to bring it out. You may have felt tired today. You may have felt like giving up at certain moments. You may have questioned why things were happening the way they were. But even in those moments, you kept going. Even when it was hard, you didn't quit. And that matters more than you realize. Because every time you keep going despite the struggle, you are building something within yourself that cannot be taken away. You are developing endurance. You are strengthening your character. You are proving to yourself that you can handle more than you thought you could. And here is something you need to understand. Today's battle is connected to tomorrow's blessing. The things you are learning right now are preparing you for what is coming next. The strength you are building now is what you will need later. The patience you are developing now is what will help you handle greater opportunities. Nothing you are going through is wasted. Every moment is adding something to you. Even the things that didn't go your way today, even the moments that felt like setbacks, they are part of the process. Sometimes God allows things to fall apart so that something better can come together. Sometimes He allows discomfort so that you will grow. Sometimes He allows challenges so that you will be prepared for greater responsibility. So don't look at today and think it was just a hard day. Look at it as a day of growth, a day of strengthening, a day that added something to your life, challenged you to love enough, even if it didn't feel like it at the time. And now, as you prepare to rest, don't carry the weight of those battles with you. Don't replay every difficult moment. Don't hold on to the stress, the frustration, or the disappointment. Because the battle has already done its work. It has already built something inside of you. Now it's time to release it. Let go of what went wrong. Let go of what you couldn't control. Go of the pressure you felt, because you don't need to carry it into tomorrow. You have already gained what you needed from it. And when you wake up, you won't just be the same person. You will be stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you were before. Because what you went through today didn't break you. It built you. Listen to me carefully, because this is something deeply personal, something many people don't talk about, but something God understands completely. There are moments in your life when you don't even have the words to pray. You feel overwhelmed, tired, confused, or broken to a point where forming sentences feels impossible. You sit there in silence, carrying emotions you cannot explain, thoughts you cannot organize, burdens you cannot express. And in those moments, you may wonder, did God even hear me? But I need you to understand this truth tonight. He hears even the prayers you didn't say out loud. He hears the silence. He understands the tears. He knows the weight behind the sighs, the heaviness behind your quiet moments, the meaning behind every tear that falls when nobody is watching. You don't have to have perfect words for God to understand your heart. You don't need a perfect prayer for Him to respond. Because He is not listening only to your words, He is listening to your spirit. There are times when your heart speaks louder than your voice ever could. When your pain becomes a language, when your emotions become a message. And God understands all of it. Every unspoken fear, every hidden struggle, every silent cry for help, He hears it all clearly and completely. You may have had moments where you wanted to pray, but all you could do was sit there. Maybe you felt too tired. Maybe you felt too broken. Maybe you didn't even know what to ask for anymore. But even in that silence, God was listening. Even in that stillness, He was present. Even when you felt like you weren't reaching Him, He was already with you. Because your connection with God is not limited by your ability to speak. It is rooted in his ability to understand. He knows what you need before you even ask. He sees what you're going through before you explain it. He understands the depth of your situation in a way that no one else can. That means you are never unheard, even when you feel silent. Sometimes the most powerful prayers are not spoken, they are felt. They are the moments when your heart is so full that words cannot contain it. They are the moments when your eyes close and tears fall without explanation. They are the moments when all you can do is breathe deeply and hope that somehow God understands what you're going through. And he does. He understands your fear. He understands your confusion. He understands your frustration. He understands your hope even when it feels weak. He understands the things you are trying to hold together and the things that feel like they are falling apart. Nothing about your situation is hidden from him. So don't think that just because you didn't pray perfectly, nothing happened. Don't think that just because you didn't say the right words, God didn't hear you. Your silence was heard. Your heart was understood. Your emotions were received. And while you were sitting there unsure of what to say, God was already responding in ways you could not see. He was already working on your situation. He was already making moves behind the scenes. He was already preparing answers to prayers you didn't even know how to ask. That's how deep his understanding is. That's how powerful his presence is. You are not alone in your quiet moments. You are not abandoned in your silence. You are not ignored just because you couldn't find the words. God is closer than you think, and he is listening more deeply than you realize. So tonight, don't stress about saying the perfect prayer. Don't feel pressure to have everything figured out before you speak to him. Just come as you are. Even if that means sitting in silence. Even if that means simply thinking, God, because he does know. He knows your heart. He knows your struggles. He knows your desires. He knows your pain, and he knows exactly what you need, even when you cannot explain it. So rest in that truth. Find peace in knowing that nothing you feel goes unnoticed. Nothing you carry is unseen. Nothing you experience is unheard. Even your silent prayers have reached heaven, and God is already working on your behalf. Listen to me carefully, because this is where many people get discouraged without realizing that they are actually in the middle of God's greatest work. When you don't hear anything, there is no clear answer, no visible movement, no sign that things are changing. It is easy to believe that nothing is happening. It is easy to feel forgotten, overlooked, or even abandoned. But you must understand this truth tonight. What looks like silence is not absence. It is God working behind the scenes. Silence does not mean God has stopped. Silence does not mean he is ignoring you. Silence does not mean your prayers didn't reach him. In fact, sometimes silence is the strongest sign that God is doing something you cannot yet see. Because when God works quietly, he works deeply. He moves in ways that are not always visible on the surface, but are powerful at the foundation. You have to understand that not everything God does is meant to be seen immediately. Some things have to be built in secret before they can be revealed in public. Just like a foundation is laid underground before a building rises above it, God often prepares things in hidden places before they appear in your life. And while you are waiting, while you are listening for a sign, he is already moving pieces into place. He is aligning people you haven't met yet. He is preparing opportunities you haven't seen yet. He is removing obstacles you didn't even know were in your way. He is protecting you from situations that would have harmed you. And he is arranging everything so that when it finally comes together, it will make sense in a way it couldn't have before. But because you can't see it, it feels like nothing is happening. And that's where faith becomes real. Faith is not just believing when you see results, it's believing when you don't. It's trusting that even in the quiet, God is still active. It's understanding that just because there is no noise doesn't mean there is no movement. Some of the most important work God does in your life happens in silence. Think about it. Growth is often silent. Healing is often silent. Preparation is often silent. And yet, those are some of the most powerful processes you will ever go through. Just because you can't hear it doesn't mean it's not happening. Sometimes God is silent because he is teaching you to trust him without constant reassurance. He is strengthening your faith so that it is not dependent on signs, but on belief. He is building a deeper relationship with you, one that is not based on what you feel in the moment, but on what you know to be true. And sometimes the silence is protection. Things you are not ready to hear yet. There are answers that, if given too early, could confuse you or even hurt you. So God waits, not to deny you, to give you what you need at the right time, in the right way. You may be asking questions right now. You may be waiting for direction. You may be hoping for a sign that things are going to work out. And because you haven't received it yet, you feel uncertain. What you don't realize is that even in this moment, God is already working on the answer. He is not late. He is not slow. He is precise. Everything he does is intentional. Every delay has a purpose. Every moment of silence has meaning. And when the time comes, when everything is ready, when you are prepared, when the situation is aligned, you will hear what you need to hear. You will see what you need to see. And it will all make sense. But until then, you have to trust the silence. Don't let quiet moments make you doubt God's presence. Don't let the lack of visible progress make you question his power. Don't let unanswered questions make you lose faith in his plan. Just because you don't hear him doesn't mean he isn't speaking. And just because you don't see movement doesn't mean he isn't working. Tonight, instead of being frustrated by the silence, find peace in it. Let it remind you that God is doing something beyond your understanding. Let it strengthen your trust, knowing that even when you don't have answers, he already does. Because behind every silent moment, there is unseen movement. Behind every quiet season, there is hidden preparation. Behind every unanswered question, there is a divine plan unfolding. And when it is time, everything is ready, you will see that the silence was never empty. It was full of God's work. Listen to me carefully, because this is something you need to hold on to tonight, especially if your current situation is making you feel stuck, limited, or uncertain about what's ahead. Just because you cannot see what's coming does not mean nothing is coming. Just because your eyes cannot see the opportunities does not mean they do not exist. There are things already prepared for you that you have not yet stepped into, doors that have not yet opened, connections that have not yet been made, and moments that have not yet arrived. Tomorrow holds opportunities you cannot yet see, and the reason you cannot see them is not because they are not real, it is because they are not revealed yet. There is a difference. Many people assume that if they cannot see something, it must not be there. But with God, so much of what he does begins in the unseen. He prepares things in advance. He arranges situations before you ever arrive in them. He creates pathways that are hidden until the exact moment you need to walk on them. You might be looking at your current situation and thinking, nothing is changing. Everything feels the same. I don't see any opportunities around me. But what you are seeing is only the present moment. What is being prepared beyond it? There are conversations happening that will lead to opportunities for you. There are people who are about to cross your path. There are doors that are about to open at the right time. And all of it is already in motion, even if you cannot see it yet. That's why you cannot lose hope based on what you see today. Because what you see today is not the full story, only a small part of a bigger picture that is still unfolding. And tomorrow, whether it is literally the next day or the next season, holds things that can shift your life in ways you cannot imagine right now. Think about the moments in your past where something unexpected changed your direction. A conversation, an opportunity, a decision, a connection, something you didn't plan, something you didn't see coming, but it made an impact. That's how opportunities often come. Not always in ways you expect, not always in ways you can predict, but in ways that align perfectly with your path when the time is right. God does not need you to see everything in advance. He just needs you to trust that what he has prepared is real. Because if you could see everything ahead of time, it wouldn't require faith. Faith is trusting that even when the path is not visible, it is still there. Faith is believing that even when the door is closed today, it can open tomorrow. Faith is knowing that even when you feel stuck, movement is still happening behind the scenes. And here is something powerful enough. You don't have to chase every opportunity. What is meant for you will find its way to you when you are aligned, prepared, and ready. That doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you stay ready, you stay open, you stay prepared so that when the opportunity appears, you can recognize it and move with confidence. Because sometimes opportunities come quietly. They don't always come with a loud announcement. They don't always look big at first. Sometimes they come as small chances, simple moments, or unexpected changes. Those small things can lead to big transformations if you are paying attention. So don't let your current situation limit your expectations. Don't look at where you are and assume that's where you will stay. Don't let what you can see convince you that nothing more is possible. Because there is more. There is always more. Tomorrow has the potential to bring something new, a new idea, a new connection, a new opportunity, a new direction, something that shifts your perspective or opens a door you didn't even know existed. And when that moment comes, it will not feel random. It will feel aligned. It will feel like it came at the right time, even if you didn't see it coming. But you have to stay in a mindset of expectation. Not fear, not doubt, not negativity, but expectation. You have to believe that something good can happen. You have to believe that opportunities are being prepared for you. Because your mindset determines how you respond when those opportunities appear. If you expect nothing, you may miss something. But if you stay open, aware, ready, you will recognize the moment when it arrives. So tonight, don't go to sleep thinking that tomorrow will be just like today. Don't assume that nothing will change. Don't limit what God can do based on what you currently see. Go to sleep with expectation. Go to sleep with hope. Go to sleep knowing that just because you cannot see it now does not mean it is not already on the way. Because tomorrow holds opportunities you cannot yet see. One of them could be the very thing that changes your life. Listen to me carefully, because this is where many people struggle the most without even realizing it. You want things to work out. You want answers. You want clarity. You want to know how everything is going to happen and when it is going to happen. And because you don't have those answers, you try to take control. You try to plan every step, predict every outcome, and manage every detail of your future. But the truth is, the more you try to control everything, the more overwhelmed, anxious, and restless you become, because you were never meant to carry that level of control. There are things in your life that are simply beyond your understanding. There are outcomes you cannot predict, situations you cannot manage, timelines you cannot force. And yet, you keep trying, you keep holding on tightly, thinking that if you just think harder, plan better, or worry more, somehow things will work out the way you want them to. But all it does is exhaust you. It drains your peace and fills your mind with pressure. And tonight, God is saying, let go. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Let go of the pressure to have everything figured out. Let go of the fear that things won't work out unless you make them happen yourself. Because the reality is, God's plan is greater than your understanding. There are things He can see that you cannot. There are paths He can create that you would never think of. There are solutions He can bring that go beyond your imagination. And when you try to control everything, you limit what He can do because you are holding on to your version instead of trusting His. You have to understand that your understanding is limited, but God's wisdom is not. You see a small part of the picture. You see what is right in front of you. You see what has already happened and what is currently happening. God sees everything. He sees the beginning, the middle, and the end. He sees how every decision connects, how every situation unfolds, how everything will ultimately come together. So when something doesn't make sense to you, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means you don't see the full picture yet. And that's where trust comes in. Trust is not about understanding everything. Trust is about believing that even when you don't understand, God does. It is about being able to say, I don't know how this will work out. I believe it will. It is about releasing your grip on control and placing your confidence in God's plan instead. Letting go is not easy. Feels uncomfortable. It feels uncertain. It feels like you are giving up control, and in a way you are. But what you are gaining is far greater. You are gaining peace. Because when you stop trying to control everything, your mind becomes lighter, your heart becomes calmer. You stop overthinking every detail, you stop stressing about every possibility, and you begin to experience a sense of peace that comes from knowing you don't have to figure everything out on your own. You start to move differently. Instead of forcing things, you begin to flow with what is happening. Instead of panicking when things don't go your way, you trust that there is a reason. Instead of trying to control the outcome, you focus on doing your part and trusting God with the rest. And something powerful happens when you do that. Things begin to align. Opportunities come at the right time. Situations start to make sense. Doors open in ways you couldn't have planned. Not because you forced them, because you trusted God enough to let Him lead. You have to realize that control is an illusion. You may feel like you are in control, but there are so many things in life that are beyond your reach. And trying to control them only creates stress. When you surrender that control, you step into a place of trust, and that trust brings peace. So tonight, as you prepare to rest, make a decision. Decide that you are not going to carry the weight of control into your sleep. Decide that you are not going to lie awake trying to figure everything out. Decide that you are going to release it. Tell yourself, I have done what I can. The rest is in God's hands. And then believe it. Go of the plans that are stressing you out. Let go of the outcomes you are trying to force. Let go of the need to understand everything right now. Because God's plan is bigger than what you can see and better than what you can imagine. You don't need to have all the answers tonight. You don't need to know exactly how everything will work out. You don't need to control tomorrow. All you need to do is trust. Trust that God knows what He is doing. Trust that He is guiding your path. Trust that even when things don't make sense, they are still working together for your good. And when you truly let go, when you release that control and place your trust in Him, you will feel it. Peace that settles your mind, that calm that fills your heart, that assurance that everything is going to be okay. That is what God wants for you tonight. So let go. Trust Him and rest in the peace of knowing that His plan is greater than your understanding, and it is already unfolding exactly the way it is meant to.